It's your boy from doing back with another one. Yo, we got J. Cole responding to Kendrick Lamar with his own type of charged up, type of warning shot, type of diss song to J. Cole. Let's try to get straight up into it because we really want to break down this 7-minute drill, which was most likely the title is named off of the fact that he probably wakes up every morning and probably writes a song in 7 minutes to practice his lyrical attacks and stuff like that. So it's more of like a bar practice, and then this time I guess he must have just named it after Kendrick Lamar. I guess this whole entire diss was basically sounding as if it's a diss towards Kendrick Lamar because he used that time to create a diss for Kendrick Lamar. Basically, is what I'm saying. So let's just get straight to
Like it's PWC or some cold world. Keep the heat under your seat. I got a phone call. They say there's somebody that say you want some attention. It come with extensions. My dog like say the word. He on bullshit. He itching. I'm putting so much work in these streets. He got attention.
So basically, what he's saying here is that when he basically got word of it all, he got word of it all through like phone calls, through his friends hitting it up, or like people probably a part of his record labels and all this stuff like that, probably hitting him up. So when you got people that's hungry, like, Boss or JID, or just other people that's a part of your group, that are MCs that can really go after someone like Kendrick Lamar, they probably sat there and was like, yo, let me go after him. A lot like how, Tupac had his henchmen on his diss song. It's like a couple seconds of just him rapping, then boom, you got all these people rapping. So he was like, no, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna do this dolo, right? Basically is what he's saying, you know what I'm saying? And then like, how does he look basically having henchmen, right? So let's keep it going.
Oh, chill out. I'm having henchmen. The shots get the popping. I'm the one doing the clinching. I came up in the bed, so I'm good with his tension. He still doing shows. I fell off like the Simpsons.
So basically what he's saying there is that like he basically grew up in Fayetteville, right? Fayetteville is kind of known. Well, if you haven't been in Fayetteville, you would not know what type of conditions that are in Fayetteville, but Fayetteville is one of those places to where I would compare it most likely to either Memphis or some parts of California, like the Compton areas. It's brutal, you know what I'm saying? So when he's saying he grew up in the Ville, so he knows how to handle tension, or basically he knows what it feels like to have true tension. But let's go back because we really got to digest each lyric and each bar.
So I'm good with his attention. He still doing shows. I fell off like the Simpsons. Your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed. And your third shit was massive. And that was your prime.
So basically, that was basically his Jay-Z takeover bar. Like that was basically one hot album every 10-year average, and that's so lame, right? That whole type of energy to where now you got to put out his discography or talk about his discography. So this is obviously taking shots at To Pimp a Butterfly, taking shots at I think Damn, taking shots at Mr. Morale, obviously, and the Big Steppers. So he basically took a shots at basic Kendrick Lamar discography. So it got a lot of people losing their minds off of specifically To Pimp a Butterfly, which is it's very interesting. They chose that album out of all the albums to really kind of I think destroy the most because like it's like to use that album as something to demoralize Kendrick is crazy to me, because a lot of people can't write that type of concept because it's more of a concept album. It's more of a conscious for the Black Power, for the Black movement, for like it's very much a social activist type of album for people. Like whenever there's strife and like back in 2020 or whatever, like when everybody was fake protesting, all of y'all was fake protesting to All Right or fake protesting to Kendrick Lamar songs because his songs is made for that type of energy. So that's the one thing I do hate is that we could use any of others albums, but that one was made for Black plight. So when you attack the Black plight, now we're taking away like the history and stuff like that. Because J. Cole talks about Black plight as well. So now you want to say who talks about Black plight the best? I mean, is J. Cole's more digestible for certain type of people, right? But Kendrick Lamar brings in a lot more of a different spectrum. It's a lot more deeper in terms of vocabulary. What he's putting out there. So this is this very complex situation we have here in terms of J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar discography itself. A lot of people is going to sit there and just ridicule J. Cole as well and talk about, like, he's basically talking about himself as if his discography isn't even up to par with Kendrick Lamar's discography. Well, I think I think J. Cole's Born Sinner is a classic because I see a lot of people arguing about the classic albums and the fact that J. Cole doesn't have none. But I feel like the warm up, even though it's a mixtape, is considered a classic. Right? So you got Born Sinner, the warm up, right? 2014 Forest Hills Drive is clearly a classic, right? But they're gonna try to what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna try to muffle most of that stuff because you got people who just want to come rewrite the narrative. But when you live through those times, you can literally feel the impact of these certain type of albums, right? So some people's gonna be like Cold Lines, Sideline Story wasn't a classic, right? For me, it was probably a classic based off of the impact of what it done for my life, right? But it's not a classic for some people. All right, so we take that out. So that's three classics just named for y'all. For a lot of people who's basically saying that he doesn't have no classics. And if you want to talk about the off season as a classic, I don't know. I wouldn't consider that as a classic, even as a J. Cole fan. I wouldn't call it a classic. I think the album that he's coming up next with, The Fall Off, I think that will be the extra classic, like the fourth classic, right? Because to me, all of his albums are solid, right? Because they, especially Kendrick and J. Cole, their albums are more meaningful than Drake's albums. To me, is because they're sending messages. So when people talk about KOD and stuff like that, and To Pimp Butterfly and KOD was both, and For Your Eyes Only. For Your Eyes Only was another one. Those albums were made specifically, and Mr. Morale as well too. But we're not going to put it on that level. But we're talking about what it was meant to do. It was meant to bring people together, like bring the community together. Like it was meant to wake up people who felt injustice. Like it was meant to bring, like KOD was basically about people on drugs and stuff like that. So basically trying to help people who are on drugs, who are losing their lives to drugs and all that stuff because J. Cole lost his friends to a whole bunch of different types of stuff, right? So you guys got to take this stuff in consideration when you're arguing about who's better, I guess. But to be honest, like I don't like the whole argument about who's better because honestly, bro, these two specifically are the best MCs of this generation that we have on the mainstream level, right? So when it comes to the best, it kind of negates or destroys like just what their purpose is, right? And they both are black conscious, or at least raps more of a black conscious. Like you see, J. Cole in his album said, "Screw the crackers," right? Screw the crackers on the Grammys, right? Because they ain't never gave him nothing, or they ain't never gave nobody nothing, right? They don't really give black people nothing. And J. Cole is a mixed person speaking like that, so that's like. I give him kudos for that because you see Drake don't do that, and Drake is mixed, and he using all this he cosplaying the black man all day, but he don't talk about the black plight. And that's why I just throw Drake out of the whole entire conversation. To me, he on the field by himself and he has to respond. J. Cole was allowed to do a song like this to where it's like, I'm not even taking you that serious because I don't even think you really want to go there. And if you want to go there, I'm ready for you because I already hit you with a few jabs already. You fell off like the Simpsons, right? So like he's basically saying like, all right, bro, you a cartoon, like you woke, right? You know what I'm saying? Some of this stuff was right, but you know what I'm saying? Like who's still watching The Simpsons? We watching Family Guy, South Park, like we watching other stuff, American Dad, we watching other cartoons, right? But when it comes to basically what J. Cole is doing, I feel like it's a lot more of like a warning shot, but not even a warning shot. He responded the same way his name got involved in the Like That. The Like That is all about Drake. I don't know why y'all making everything about J. Cole versus Kendrick. This is really about Drake. All right. This is about taking the dude off of the top who keeps saying that he's at the top. So the whole entire J. Cole album or mixtape or project, he's literally saying, I am the GOAT. So you got Kendrick saying he's the GOAT. You got J. Cole saying he's the GOAT. But then you got Drake over there telling y'all to beat it.
Coming right behind and I just not hit mine now front of the line with a comfortable lead. I run it so like that and now he wants some with me. Will it come here at the perfect time? Jump up and see where I got y'all for bars. Got no controversy.
Yo, when J. Cole started rapping with this flow, specifically this flow, right? When he's talking about the controversy and like the dialect that he's having, like right, jump up and see. It's like the energy gives me a little bit like a Drake sizzle. Like you can literally tell that this dude literally was in the booth with Drake, hearing Drake make songs so much to where you can hear like a little bit of You can hear it in the connotation of how he's saying the words, specifically specifically when he changes the flow on controversy and how the dialect. Look at this, because as I'm a Drake, I'm a J Cole's stan. Like I literally understand like how this dude really raps, right? So to hear him rap like this is very interesting because it's just like a it's like he took one of the Thanos stones from Drake, right? From I guess he took one of the Thanos stones from basically everyone he's done a feature with. Like it's kind of interesting.
Was so proud, I was trying to write my line, and I just now hit mine. Now front of the line with a comfortable lead. I run it, so I got it. Now you know so with me. Well, it caught me at the perfect time. Jump up and see where I got it off of bars. Not no controversy. For the thing about it, bitch, I don't even want the prestige for the Grammys, cause the record never done nothing for me. Oh, slugs.
Right. Screw the Grammys because them crackers ain't never done nothing for me. That's why I like J. Cole, because he'll say a bar like that once or twice to where it's like, yo, that's facts. Like if you really just think about it, like when have they ever looked out for anybody? I mean, that's always been the conversation. When we talk about injustice, when we talk about like I'm saying, he always add the injustice up in there almost in every song. He always gotta add one or two bars in there because he lives it, or he's seen his friends live through it, and he just understands that there's a double world. There's a world, and then there's a world for melanated people within America.
So my nigga so trust, took another one on rap. Beef ain't really in the shit I seen it coming. Yeah.
Right, a rap beef ain't nothing he's seen in Cumberland, right? So now he's basically talking about basically going back to the Fayetteville conversation. Like a lot of the stuff that he's been through, he's seen some situations, right? Like this rap stuff, this rap beef stuff isn't like he don't feel like he's scared, he pressed against the wall, all this stuff, but he's doing it in a rap way. So this is a good way to keep everything rap, keep everything lyrical. You know what I'm saying? There is no maliciousness or nothing like that. Like the worst y'all gonna talk about is the album stuff, the album bar. But that's like it's, to me everything is like a light jab, just like yo, you my homie, right? So I'm gonna give you this like homie warning shot because you my homie, and I don't know if you really meant it like that, right? So that's why further down in the song, you're gonna see him talk about the fact that he basically hit him up like, yo, like I'm waiting for an ignorant response back. So if I get an ignorant response back and you on timing and you want to say some funny shit, right? Now we going to war. Now I'm really gonna drop something crazy, which would be a back to back. See, if you go off of the discography of like the rap beefs of what this energy reminds me of, it's kind of like a charged up just off of this type of energy, and then a back to back would most likely come out of that, right? Because now it's like you have to do another one that's really about the beef if Kendrick responds to J. Cole specifically. But I think Kendrick is really looking at Drake. I'm not really looking at J. Cole to battle. I'm really trying to take off this dude right here, Drake, who been subbing dudes since since the beginning of time, and then who acting like he's a gangster, who's hiding behind the Instagram facade. And to me, J. Cole dissed him as well, but people think that that was a Kendrick diss on Pie. That was literally a Drake diss. When you're talking about these trans fellas, and then you're also talking about how people pretending to be tough on the gram. Like Graham is his last name, so like when we like Aubrey Graham is his last name. So think about it, like to me, it's a lot more of both of these dudes are trying to take out Drake more than they're trying to take out each other. They actually been liking each other or messing with each other in terms of like music and art and rap and giving each other respect way before Drake and J. Cole linked up or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying?
Put you on words like every 30 months or so. If you wasn't dissing, then we wouldn't be discussing. But don't make me have to smoke this nigga, cause I fuck with him. Push come to shove on this mic, I will humble on.
See, he basically saying what I just said. So that's his boy, right? Kendrick and J. Cole, they boys, they really homies, right? Excuse me. That's why they write. To me, their pen is up there because they really, you know what I'm saying? Like they got like that art connection because they both can write on some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got like a whole lab of writers and sweatshop of writers. They actually sit there and be their pen to the pad and really be working on their craft. That's why a 7-minute drill would make sense for somebody like J. Cole, because I'm thinking this dude wake up every day and he writes something, because J. Cole kind of gives me that type of like fervor, right? I think Kendrick does the same thing or something around the lines because they're just too talented to where I would think that they spend more time on their abilities than compared to Drake, who just want to spend time with other people, girls, and all day, and all that other stuff, right? So when we're talking about when we talking about, he basically saying humble him, right? That's another like punchline to go back to basically the damn song, humble, right? So sit down, be humble. So when he's saying I will humble him, basically he's saying like if you take it there, if you really want to do it, I got like, a lot of respect for you, but if you want to take it there, I will humble you, just like you said in your song. So yeah, this is this is literally, I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure out to find the meme that he's talking about. I'm gonna try to put that on the screen because the meme that he's talking about is that meme where G Money is literally having the gun, right, and he crying because he don't really want to do it, but then he got to do it. So it's like this whole thing is literally a construct of him saying, "Yo, this is my guy. This is my guy," right? So I don't really want to do it to him, but I'm gonna have to do it to him if he really want to smoke. So this is very interesting, very interesting. I feel like the top of the mixtape on J. Cole's album or project, or basically his throwaways from basically the fall off. Because to me, this gives me like what the fall off. Some of these songs would have been on the fall off if none of this stuff happened. This is crazy. We getting two projects. So the top half was more of that energy, like that. Ooh, like the Ready 24. He was very. It's an energy in there to where I'm like, okay, Crocodile Tears is an energy in there, right? Pie. It's an energy in there to where I'm like, ooh, okay, that's this energy, right? So 7 minute drill, the one that y'all focusing on more is because it was like it was 7 minutes. He just whipped that up real quick and then he says something like, screw your discography, basically. And y'all stuck on that. But this is crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. This is crazy. I love this rap beef. I live for this rap beef. I live for rap catastrophe. I live for the industry to fall down. I live for all them fake rap niggas to get exposed who don't really be writing, who really just be pretending, who not really about it. See, to me, this gives me a lot more respect for J. Cole. I mean, to me, he took too long, but the fact that he dropped the whole project and he said this is a 7 minute drill, he wrote this 7 minutes, boom, dropped it with the project real quick. I'm gonna give him respect for the fact that he took 2 weeks or a week and a half or however long. I think it's been to a week, 2 weeks probably, right, to respond. Drake has still not responded because Drake don't write shit. Drake don't sit there and write. All right, he probably goes there and choose between the different writers that he has, right? Whoever can make the hottest stuff, they'll mix it together. Party Next Door, you got the hook. He'll take the hook from Party and he'll come and then record the stuff, right? I don't know. I'm just trolling, but really, I really want to see what Drake have to say. All in all, like if I keep it 100%, I'm not really looking at what J. Cole has to say. I knew J. Cole was going to come in like this. I knew J. Cole was going to sit there and be like, that's my homie, because that's legitimately his homie. Like, and J. Cole's he's not fake. So he's not going to just go 100% off on his homie. If his homie's really trying to go after Drake, he knows Kendrick Lamar don't like Drake, bro. They were homies before this J. Cole and Drake dick riding stuff happened, right? I don't know if I can even say that, but you know what I'm saying? J. Cole doesn't want smoke specifically with Kendrick. J. Cole wants smoke with Drake. That's what you guys don't realize. They both want smoke with Drake. That's why J. Cole took it personal on first person shooter and rapped the way he rapped, right? He was trying to be all inclusive, but at the same time, he was dissing all of them at the same time. Like, I'm really the big three. I'm a nice dude. So I'm adding us like we the big three, right? And then he out rapped Drake on his own song twice. Every time he rap with Drake, he out rap him. So J. Cole is literally doing like what Drake do to other artists. He's going over there, rapping with them, and take their whole, not take their whole style. Well, he does take their whole style, but he also takes a piece of their fan base, that little buzz that they have. Now J. Cole is sharing that little buzz that Drake naturally has, right? Because he's working with Drake. But then he also has the ability to see Drake up close and personal. So Drake can never, ever, ever attack J. Cole because now he's seen him at his vulnerable spot. That's the art of war. That's subliminal. And that's what I think J. Cole is doing in this whole war. That's why he responded to Kendrick like this, because he like, bro, we got the same goal. We both know we better than this nigga. It's really the big two, but we adding this dude in there because we know that the fans think that he up there with us, but he really not up there with us because when we rap on a beat with him, he can't even keep up on our level. I'm just keeping it a bean.
Like what? Like it's PWC. It's a cold world. Keep the heat on your seat. I got a phone call. They say there's somebody here saying you want some attention. It come with extensions. My dog might say the word. He on bullshit. He itching. I'm putting so much work in these streets. He out bitching. I told him chill out. I look at the henchman. If shots get the popping on the one on the conductor.
Not gonna hold y'all. I love the beat switch with the conductor beats, man. Like that. The one thing I do love about this whole entire project is that it gives me rap. It gives me art. I needed art. Like I was missing art. Art was so hard to find. Art was hard to see. Right. Pie is my favorite song. Just off. I think that is the best song of the year. Um, just off of the art. Like screw the like all these like 808 crazy beats and all this stuff. And there's nothing wrong with 808 beats, but I'm saying like trap beats, like just the beats on top of the fact that when you rapping on them beats, you're not really saying nothing that means of any importance, or you're not even like testing your lyrical skills on those trap beats. You just really just rapping on them trap beats. You're just saying nothing. So when you got people, he just kind of went off on like kind of like I guess one of those, but then switched it back to the old school stuff, right? The real rap stuff, right? To where now you MCing again. Like the fact that J. Cole has that, like he's created himself and he's upgraded himself in a more, how would I say in this better way? Like he's basically upgrading himself. He's adding more diversity within his flows. So a lot of stuff that I heard growing up, especially by J. Cole, was a lot of people felt like his music was boring or he was a boring type of rapper or whatever, right? But they can't say that today because you're seeing him rapping on these different type of beats, and these different type of beats are more of a trap type of beat, but then at the same time he's giving you lyricism, but at the same time he's also giving you flows that sound pretty good to me. If I'm keeping it a bean, I think it's better than the flows he used before on these type of beats. Like you could tell him being with Drake, he kind of seen, okay, this what he be doing to like get those flows off on these type of beats to where like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain, but it's like a rap skill thing that I noticed with J. Cole. So now this is the real J. Cole. When once it all slows down and it all gets into a real rap beat, now we're gonna get real J. Cole flow. Now this is J. Cole flow. This ain't got nothing to do with the Drake stuff. But you see in the last one, the whole this one that y'all so focused on, y'all focused on it because that's a Drake flow. And y'all addicted to that Drake flow. So when anybody use it, it sound like some shit. I'm trying to tell you.
I got mixed feelings about these fucking rap niggas. It's over for that cat, the official cat killers. 2-6, we don't got niggas. We hear that niggas shoot a nigga lights out. Yeah, my dog stack feelers, that stuff is triple double. Get your ass black duffel. Body bag, body bag, body bag. Cold world, your instructor for Pilates class. Get a nigga stretched if I feel the disrespect. Your arms might be too short to box with the guy who lives.
So yeah, he's basically saying that Kendrick is a small body, right? He's basically saying your arms is too short, not to box with the god, right? So that's just it's also funny because Too Short is also a rapper, right? So he's playing off double entendre, but he said he got mixed feelings about these rap dudes. So like, basically he's saying like he don't know how these people are because they sometimes they be putting up a facade and you don't know if they really be showing love or they really just like trying to bite your whole style or like rip like do something to where it's foul, right? So it's over for the cap. We official cap pillars. So like now, if you're capping and you're feeling like, or you're trying to send threats as if you're that guy, we're gonna cap pill you. But cap pill is a double entendre, right? So now this is the J Code I'm talking about. Now we're gonna get a bunch of double entendres. We're gonna get a bunch of metaphors. You're gonna get a whole bunch of similes, and we're just basically gonna get a like bars. All right.
Life without the pressures of a constant facade. I pray for peace, but if a nigga sees these positive vibes, a Falcon 9 is on my pocket, this rocket gon' fly.
Right. So he's basically saying he wanted peace. He be praying for peace. That's why he did the big three stuffs, because he wanted to be like, all right, we can have all of us can be raw. Like I guess we ain't really gotta go at each other. But I guess him saying that all of us can be raw, we can't really go at each other, we ain't gotta really go at each other. I think that sparked the war, right? Obviously it did because Kendrick wasn't a part of that song, right? Um, so basically he's saying that he prayed for peace, but if they don't want to do it, then he's basically gonna let it fly, based like a Falcon 9. So it's basically just another bar flip of basically him saying, "Yo, this is a warning, legitimately a warning." Uh, let's keep it going.
I was popping outside, like the top of July. My text flooded with the hunger for a toxic reply. I'm hesitant, I love my.
Right. So when he said, this is what I was trying to tell y'all earlier. When he said my text flooded with the hunger of a toxic reply, he's basically saying that he either texted Kendrick or was waiting for a text from Kendrick that was basically like "f you," like "screw you," I don't never like basically like I'm the go screw you, like basically like he was waiting for one of them ignorant replies to where okay, that friendship over and it's war after what they just texted you. He was waiting for that. So, and that's why he said he was hesitant, because he said, "I'm hesitant. I love my brother, but I'm not gonna lie." So then now he's going into his actual emotions, talking about, "All right, look, I'm having mixed feelings about this shit. I don't know if you trying to come at me or whatever, right?" So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going because let's see what he said right after that.
Brother, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm powered up for real. That shit would feel like swatting a fly.
See, he's basically saying, "I'm powered up for real. It will feel like swatting a fly." This is what I'm trying to. This part, everybody's focused on his Drake flow beat, right? The Drake flow beat song with the album, right? When you're talking about the album, but this right here, when you go into the J. Cole now, this is J. Cole realm. Now he really letting it loose, but he letting it loose in it's a jab, but then it's an uppercut, right? So it's a jab and an uppercut, but nobody really saw the uppercut coming, right? So the whole time y'all thought he just hit him with the right jab, but he low key uppercut him too. So right now Kendrick got he got a little bruise on him, right? And I'm like, ooh, okay. And then now, if Kendrick take it there, right? If he take it there, now expect the J. Cole response within 2 or 3 weeks after that. If Kendrick take it there, if Kendrick don't take it there and he goes straight to Drake, you won't see J. Cole talk about this much other than subliminals on his album, right? But even then, you know what I'm saying? So basically he's saying like, dude, if you take it there, we can really take it there. Like I'm piled up. This would be like swatting a fly because you small. Like he's 6'4" compared to like a 5'3" dude. Like, it's like, or however tall Kendrick is, 5'6". It don't matter. Either way, he's basically saying that he's nothing, that he's bigger than him, even in his discography.
4 albums in 12 years, nigga, I can divide.
See, 4 albums in 12 years, I can divide. It's funny. Because that's like one hot album for every 10-year. So it's funny because that's a Nas fan using the takeover bar flip, I guess, because obviously he was signed by Jay-Z, but he's really more of a Nas fan. So it's funny, right? I feel like he was forced to do that because if you said anything ether wise, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't sound right. But I knew before this whole stuff would come out that somebody, specifically J. Cole, was gonna have to use that 4 album in 10 years. Nigga, I can divide. That's one maybe every two maybe then two. One was the other was Illmatic. That's one hot album every 10. So once I knew that there was war, I was like, that's the best line to use for Kendrick, because it just seems like, okay, he drops an album every now and then, like 4 albums in 10 years, right? One of them was due, another one was and the other one was Illmatic, right? So he had to use that because it's like, it's perfect for someone like Kendrick who kind of drops periodically, because I blame that more on Kendrick's label than Kendrick himself, because I noticed that TDE makes their artists wait like 5 years or 4-6 years to drop one project, and I literally hate TDE for that. And I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can say they make better products because of that, but I don't think so. I think that just robs the fans more than anything. And like, it elongates the contract. So now you see Kendrick coming out, and now he could be himself because he can record and diss people when he wants to. He could be himself. I don't like when you put these artists in front of like confines and stuff, so we can't really see their full potential because they're being controlled by the label, what the label think is best for them. Like, man, get the hell out of here. Let these people create. And that's what we're seeing right now. That's why I love this era that we're in right now, because now these people they couldn't do this in 2013, 2014 because they were all tied into labels. And that would have made the labels rich as hell if they would have done it too. So now they're getting this bread off for themselves independently. I believe J. Cole has his masters, and I believe Kendrick is out of his deal. So this is really dope. Let's keep it going.
Shit, if this is what you want, I'm indulging in violence. Put pictures in my home, hang them cold at your eyelids. Fly pebbles at your yawn, we are snow temple pilots. This is merely a warning shot. The back niggas down, back in the town. Where they whip and working traffic in pounds. My jack jumping, bout a rapper, making blasphemous sounds. Switching sides like the tassel on the cap and the gown.
Switching sides like the tassel on the cap on the gown and the gown. That is one of them bars that I like. I always like people put the cap with the tassel on the other side. I had some bars like that as well, boy. I'm trying to tell you, them bars is that's how I know J. Cole be sitting there writing, like, cause I know, like, I can tell, like, that you can tell, like, his shit is personal. When you hear it, you can hear his personality in it too, because I feel like he's naturally probably a little bit passive. He can probably be passive aggressive here and there, and he's basically saying this is a warning shot, like he don't want to go there, but he can go there, but like, he got mixed feelings. He's like perplexed, so that's why he dropped this whole entire tape. Is like a warning shot as well.
I'm fully loaded, nigga. I can drop two classics right now.
Right, and then he ends it off of he's fully loaded. He can drop two classics right now. That's the most beautiful thing about J. Cole is that he's been tallying this up. He's been basically creating this discography this whole time, or this album, The Fall Off, this whole time for a couple of years now, while doing these features. So like he's had some time to be in like this workshop mode to where he's really sharpening his swords and doing songs where like Daylight and Absol, like he's really testing his pen and his ability to rap while rapping on those songs. Like to me, J. Cole's someone who's trying to get better, and I respect him for that because you don't really see Drake trying to get better at rapping. Drake kind of just, that's why I said the Drake flow, because Drake only has like this, he has his own specific Drake flow. I call it the Drake flow because to me it's fire. Don't get it twisted. It's fire. But it's a Drake flow. Like he doesn't switch it up. He don't get out of the Drake flow is what I'm saying. So the fact that J. Cole can pick that up, do the little Drake flow that get people going crazy because they're gonna go crazy once they hear it because it's the programming, right? So then when he going into his real rap, he can still get into the real rap J. Cole person. So like this is dope for me as a fan of all these artists, and understanding how these lyrics work and understanding how these rap styles work and how flows work. Um, to me, J. Cole is specifically setting himself apart as someone who's a little bit more diverse. Because to me, like out of all three of them, he has the ability to tap into the Drake style and the Kendrick style. Kendrick and J. Cole and Drake are kind of in their own lanes of their own styles. Like this gonna sound insane, but let me break it down. Kendrick got his own type of flow, his own type of energy to where when you hear a Kendrick song, you know that's Kendrick because the way Kendrick is rapping, right? Drake has his own flow, his own style. That when you turn on a Drake song, you know that's Drake because of the way that he's saying it, the flow that he's using, the timing on the beat slaps. So when the beat slaps at this, sometimes he's not gonna slap on the same type of beat that everybody else gonna that the same beat tapping. He's not gonna be on the same timing as everybody else. His is almost like it's hard to explain, but it's like it's a science behind the Drake flow, right? And if you notice it, you notice it. But if you notice it, you know what I'm talking about. So Drake, J. Cole specifically, I'm seeing a lot more from the snippets in his documentary to now. I'm not even talking about when he was on Drake album, because to me I heard a tiny bit of it, but I didn't hear a lot of it. I still heard more J. Cole. But now, right now, specifically now, I'm hearing, okay, this tour is helping him get whatever that Drake stone is that he be doing with the flows and stuff, right? Now, you can mind you, J. Cole's already been around Kendrick, working with Kendrick. They just never dropped their songs, right? There's leaks of their songs here and there, but in places, different places. But you know what I'm saying? They worked together before. So now he got the stone from Kendrick, got the stone from Drake, and he got his own stone. J. Cole's the only one that can come out of here with like, yo, I just upgraded my abilities because I got both of y'all whole whatever, y'all whole styles, and I got my own style, and I can mix it and create like a super duper hybrid style. And that's kind of what I feel in this in 7 minute drill. It's like I hear J. Cole and I hear Drake in the same song, but there's no Drake in the song. But that's what makes the song good because there's no Drake in the song, but there's like it feels of the presence that's a Drake flow because we like the Drake flow. So I'm trying to tell you, this science is crazy, and it's probably gonna make people be like, "What did he just say?" Rewind it, replay it again, play it slower at 0.75, and you'll understand exactly what I'm saying because what I said is legitimately facts. What you're gonna notice in J. Cole's next album is you're gonna feel like Drake is in a couple of those songs, but you don't hear Drake in it. And in the next Drake and J. Cole collab, you're gonna hear a better collab because J. Cole is gonna have that flow either down pack or mastered it by now. Um, that's basically the whole take on the 7 minute drill. The whole entire album is fire. The whole project is fire. It's something that we need because I'm tired of listening to garbage. I'm tired of listening to the lack of lyricism. I'm tired of listening to people not rapping. I'm tired of listening to dope lines and dope fiend lines and drugs and sex and all of this other stuff that we heard like a trillion times already. Like, how many times do I have to hear drip? You know what I'm saying? I done heard you say that word a trillion times. How many times do I have to hear you talk about a Ferrari? I done heard you bought it a million times. Look, I don't want to hear about your rich man lifestyle all day. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into some real, let me see you work on lyricism. Let me see you work on your metaphors and your wordplay and put words together. You know what I'm saying? A lot like what I heard J. Cole did, especially did in the Pie song. He had like this whole flip on basically karate, sensei and dojo, and just like he's basically, that's someone who's working on their craft. Cause you can literally tell, right, while rapping with the gods, because to me, Ab Soul and Daylight, they're the gods, okay? Like they in terms of writing, in terms of Shakespearean energy, in terms of everything that I be talking about that's missing in rap, they have those abilities, right? Um, but then now you have them on a song. It's also very interesting. Before I go, it's kind of crazy that Kendrick did not put Daylight on, right? But J. Cole did, and I find that's giving me more points. Like I said, J. Cole's earned a lot more respect and more points off of this just for that itself. First of all, why haven't Kendrick put Daylight on? Daylight should have been on a mainstream song with these mainstream artists. He should have been put up there like how y'all be putting up all these trash people every 5 seconds. Y'all be trying to remix and put somebody on something that be butt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Lil Baby and Drake, yes indeed. Why are you making a song with that dude? Go make a song with somebody who can rap to where now you trying to make your pen better. Because now you gotta really rap. You can't just hit no regular bars and stuff like that because these dudes don't really got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, J. Cole going, because he even said it in the same song, I'm in the lion's den working on my craft. He's basically saying when he's rapping with Daylight and Absol, he's feel like he's in a lion's room, like a room full of lions. Meaning that these people are like that. That means I gotta work harder and my flow gotta be better. My bars gotta be way better. Because that's what happens when you be around greatness. It forces you to be greater because you don't want to be the one that's not pushing your weight when you're around greatness. When greatness is great, you can't help but to study it and be great. And that's what J. Cole has done on that song specifically. And to me, he did a good job on trying to keep up on their level. But they absolutely went to a different world with that Shaq and Kobe type of style. You know what I'm saying? I love the 314 flips with Daylight verse. You know what I'm saying? I like that whole entire song is legitimately the definition of art to me. That is the best song on the album. That should be talked about more than all of these other songs on the stuff. Is that song specifically, and people need to give people like Daylight a lot more of a chance because he's supposed to have been on a Drake song or album or something, and he was supposed to have been on the Kendrick one, but they ain't do none of that. So now I'm giving J. Cole a real nigga card out of all three of them because he put somebody on, right? That the streets been wanting to be on, right? That's all I'm saying. I think all them rappers just scared to rap with him on a beat because they know he'll toast them. Um, but that's basically all I gotta say for that. Basically, the whole J. Cole might delete later. I'm looking forward to the fall off. I'm really looking at of Drake a lot more because like I said, every day that passes by, I lose so much respect for the dude. It makes no sense because people don't even understand how high I had him on my chart. I had him way too high on my chart, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like now he going down damn near fourth. Cause to me, at this point, now that Daylight is rapping with the mainstream people, I'm already putting Daylight above Drake. Like Daylight can't rap better than Drake. So it's Daylight, J. Cole, and Kendrick. Like those are the best ones. Now that Daylight is up there now with the song, with J. Cole. Now you just put a foot in the door of this type of writer, right? I'm putting him above Drake. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I'm just saying. Say what you want. Drake can't write like that. You see J. Cole on the song with them, so now I'm like, okay, J. Cole can keep up a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He running behind them, but like he's keeping up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like he keeping up, right? He a couple steps behind, but he trying, right? Dojo, Sensei, right? So when you hear those type of stuff, I know there's gonna get a lot of people triggered. But either way, just let me know what y'all think, because to me, this is going to be probably the most controversial video ever, just off of what I just said. But you know what? We're not trying to split no sides. To me, it's Drake versus J. Cole and Kendrick, because J. Cole and Kendrick is going after Drake. All right. It's not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? It's not Drake and J. Cole versus Kendrick. No, it's really all of them by themselves going at each other. But if there's anything, it's low key of the low ski. Kendrick and J. Cole versus Drake.